My name is Andrea. I am 20 years old and I use the implant for birth control. So I got into using the implant because I got pregnant, and I got pregnant because I wasn't on birth control and I didn't like condoms. So I looked into something that was long-term. I found the IUDs and the implant. I decided to go with the implant. My experience finding the implant seemed to be pretty easy after, I went to the doctors. I did try using the Depo-Provera shot, and I was scared of needles. So I think I used it once and I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm gonna look for something that's more long-term. So the process for me to choose the implant pretty much came from my own decision. My mom was like not on board with me being on any type of birth control because she thought I wasn't having sex. The insertion process for the implant is pretty easy. What they do is they lay you down and you put your arm up. So you lay down with your arm out, and then they mark your arm first with a pen to mark exactly where it has to go in, but you don't really feel it. It doesn't hurt. It's a little bit numb afterwards, but it's not something that you're like, oh my God, they cut my arm open and they put it in. No, you're fine. So I was done with my first implant and the time came to change it, and I decided to put another one in. I realized they could put one in at the exact same time that they took it out, which was one thing I was super excited about because I didn't have to wait a couple weeks for it to heal and then go back again. But I was really scared for them to take it out. And I went with a couple of best friends and they came in with me and they were holding my hand while the doctor, he cut, and it was supposed to be numbed. I could feel it. It kind of hurt. And then he pressed and it came out and it looked so small. And it was weird because I hadn't seen it in 3 years. And I was so happy. Like, oh, wow, I made it through using one. And then he put the new one in. He wrapped my arm up and I was fine. What I really like about the implant is that you can't tell that you have one, and that's a good thing for people with strict parents who won't allow them to get birth control. It's something that you don't even see yourself unless you're touching and looking for it. So what I've noticed change about my period since I've gotten the implant was in the beginning it went away completely for a couple of months, and then it came back, and it would come back 2 times a month. So it would happen at the beginning of the month and it would last a week, and then it would happen right like a week before the end of the month, and then it regulated and I get my period once a month for a week and I was fine. Spotting is really common and people should be aware of that because it's something that could happen to you. It depends on how your body takes it, because you could either have it all the time or not have it at all. Me and my friends are very open when it comes to talking about our sex lives. So something that would obviously come up would be birth control methods. And one thing that we all agreed on was that we wanted something that was long-term, but I was the only one with something that was long-term and they were just using condoms. So I did tell them about Implanon and how I had gotten it in. I didn't even have to think about it after getting it in, and all I had to worry about was getting it replaced once it ran out. The things that I love about Implanon are that it's one and done. I don't have to think about it at all after I get it put in. You don't have to be reminded to take it again after the 3 years. You have the card with the date that tells you need to get it replaced by, and you just go, you make your doctor's appointment, get it out, get a new one in, and that's it.